Yeah, almost 6.
Almost 6.
Yeah, June 11th.
4.5.
Oh. Yeah, they really start moving around 4. It's crazy. They wake up.
We're going to get her knees up underneath.
We are live in Chagrin Falls. The famous Rob Arnold. What's up, buddy? We're live on Facebook.
Got good weather for it so far.
I joined you in retirement. Hey, hey. Ignore my squeaky wheels. I got a bad bearing. Hey. Oh no, we'll run away, out of control down the hill. We're supposed to have a flyover of the F-16s at 10:28, which is only in a few minutes. Oh, you know what I need to do? I need to share this out. Let me stop here for a second. See if I can get this done. Bear with me, folks. Ooh. There's the F-16s now, but I don't see them. I definitely hear them. Definitely heard them. There we go. We are rocking now. Get it all shared out to the Chagrin Falls groups. Let me mount up my trusty steed and continue on. There we go. Hey. John causing trouble again. Hey, hey. No, that wasn't John.
Go left. Left one. Go left. Go left. Hey. Go
left. What's up, Ted? And if you look to the right, you'll see that's the Civil War monument up on top of the hill. And that's where we'll have the ceremony. Share this out on your timeline so others can join us in today's Memorial Day ceremony. Do forwards too. About 2 minutes. There he is. Always having fun. That flag's running him. Look at the crowd following the parade. You're a movie star now.
Oh, thanks. He's here to make sure I get up the hill.
Yeah. I think I'm going to follow you.
They call 911.
Look at all the little kids. Look at all the youngsters. All the people on top of the wall.
Love it. And I've been speaking for Youth for Christ. I've done 2 of their staff retreats. I'm doing my first.
Give a shout out where you're watching from today, folks. The ceremony will start shortly. There's my Molly. Thank you.
How are you? Good.
What do you guys doing?
No, I think they separate off. He's up with bandstands in the stands. They have like a stand so that everyone can want to get wet.
No, I mean everybody. Yeah, no. As I'm going down the street.
I was going the same pace as that
Drummer Bubble is in the house. Let me kill my segue. There we go. All right, we're back in gear now. Make my way up to my chair.
I just put it behind the flower pot.
Bear with me, folks, as I get set up here. Or try to. We're going all cattywampus. No drone today. Everything's from the ground today.
Too many trees.
Oh, we heard them though.
So they're going to take over the world?
Nah.
I think they are.
Okay, I'm halfway there. I'm halfway there, folks. There we go. We're rocking and rolling now.
So you're filming the thing? Is that what it is?
I'm sorry?
Are you filming the thing?
Yeah, we're doing a live stream on Facebook right now.
Oh, are you?
So it's live right now. And then we'll put it on YouTube as well so people can watch it later. It'll always be on Facebook so you can watch it again later.
I need to get more involved with Facebook.
There you go.
I really haven't signed up for it yet. My friends are all sending me stuff through Facebook. I haven't really rolled.
Well, my page has 54,000 followers. So,
That's the whole idea, right?
yeah.
I better keep my mouth shut, right?
Oh, no. Have at it. Yeah, you're my shot, mister. Oh, you're good. I'm just messing with you. Yeah, there you go. I saw that. Yeah, I think that was live too. Nope, that was there for posterity. Hey. Just like the year, remember when the guy's pants fell down when the guy, oh my God. I was pointing right at him, but caught it live. And John looks at me, he's like, did you get that? I'm like, no, I missed it. Yeah.
He's got suspenders on now.
Yeah. He learned his lesson. That was hilarious. Oh. No idea. I'm definitely sitting, conserving my energy. 'Cause I'll be running around when it starts.
You gotta watch where you're walking.
Oh yeah, it'll be slippery.
Yeah. You've given Mom water, so I just have.
And I didn't realize it was
Bear with us, folks, as we get ready for the ceremony.
the wrong side. I should have realized it when I checked into the hotel. Because on the first floor, I thought I was walking into the lobby and there was no lobby there, no furniture, nothing. And I said, where's the lobby? And somebody says, it's on the third floor. Because of Boston, the lobby was public space. And the homeless were trying to sleep on the couches and sleep in the chairs. So then they think that the only thing the hotel could do is move up to the third floor. Because that was furnace space. So legally they took the
Chagrin. Good to see you. Good. Steve. Ted. Yes. Good to see you. Nice to be seen.
Boom! Who did that?
Good morning. On behalf of Chagrin Falls American Legion Post 383, the Chagrin Falls Veterans of Foreign Wars Post 12067, and the Molly Chittenden chapter of the Daughters of the American Revolution and the Village of Chagrin Falls, I want to welcome you to these Memorial Day services. I want to thank you to the Crooked River Fifes and Drum Band for playing as we gathered, and to Connor Lavelle, who played reveille for us. My name is John Borso. My name is John Borso, and I am the Judge Advocate for Chagrin Falls American Legion Post 383. And now, the posting of the colors and the Pledge of Allegiance. Please stand if you are able.
Mark time. Mark. Left. Hey. Group. Halt. Colors are present. Prepare to pose.
I stand, I'm afraid of sitting back down again.
Recover. Present. Hold. Hold there. Hold. Center. Hey. Hold word. Hold.
Did your shoes shine?
Right. Right. Left word. Walk. Right. Right.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of America. America. To the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please be seated. Will the wreath bearers please come forward? Thank you. The pastor officiating at today's ceremony is Michael Howard. He's recently appointed senior pastor at the Federated Church here in Chagrin Falls. Reverend Howard.
Thank you, John. Before speeches are given and songs are sung, we pause among the dead to remember that this ground has already been consecrated by lives offered, sacrifices endured, and hopes not yet fulfilled. We gather here today not to make this ground holy, but to remember, to give thanks, to dedicate ourselves again to the unfinished work entrusted to the living. Will you join your hearts with mine as we offer them to the Lord in prayer? Holy and most gracious one, we gather this morning among stones and names, among memory and earth, among those who once walked these village streets, heard the Chagrin River roaring over the falls, who worshiped in these sanctuaries, built homes, raised children, served neighbors, and now rest beneath our feet. We give thanks to you, O God, for those whose lives and sacrifices are remembered here, for those who endured war and loss, for those who carried wounds, both seen and unseen, for those whose names are etched into stone, and for those known only now to you. We remember that long before this day became a national observance, the people of this village gathered in this place to mourn their dead, to honor sacrifice, and to pray that freedom and peace might yet grow among the living. We remember, Lord, our sacred sister in Christ, Jane Church, who helped raise this monument, whose voice was heard here in 1867 when such public witness from a woman was still rare in this nation. We remember, Lord, not in triumph, but in grief, in gratitude, and in hope. We remember, Lord, the vision carried in the old prophetic words that one day the wolf shall dwell with the lamb and the little child shall lead them. Teach us, O God, to become people capable of such peace. Quiet our pride. Deepen our compassion. Strengthen our courage. And gather us now into reverent remembrance before you. Amen.
Thank you. Now, Star Spangled Banner. Our national anthem. Please be seated. The Veterans of Foreign War tribute will be given by Mike Stoll.
Good morning. This Memorial Day, we as a community honor one of the most sacred symbols of sacrifice in America, the tomb of the unknown soldier. The tomb was established in 1921 following World War I, when an unidentified American service member was brought home from the battlefields of France and laid to rest at Arlington National Cemetery. In the years that followed, unknown soldiers from World War II and the Korean War were also interred there, representing not just one person, but the hundreds of thousands who gave their lives and whose names, stories, or resting places were lost to war. These soldiers are not known by their race, religion, rank. At the tomb, these distinctions fade, except for one. What we know about them is this: they answered the call to serve. They wore the uniform of this nation. They stood for something greater than themselves. And in the end, they gave their lives in defense of freedom. And at that tomb, the guard never stops. Since 1937, the tomb has been guarded continuously by the sentinels of the Army's 3rd Infantry Regiment, known as the Old Guard. Every hour of every day, in every season, every storm, a sentinel walks the mat in perfect precision. 21 steps, a pause for 21 seconds, then 21 steps back. Even in moments when the nation itself stood still, the guard at the tomb never did. Those 21 steps and that silent pause represent the highest honor our nation can give, the 21-gun salute. But the changing of the guard is more than a ceremony. It is a promise that while the fallen may be unknown, they will never be unattended, never abandoned, never forgotten. On this Memorial Day, may we remember that the freedoms we enjoy today were purchased by ordinary Americans willing to do extraordinary things for people they would never meet. So lest we forget the soldiers we may never know, and may we never forget those known only to God, but forever honored by a grateful nation. Thank you.
Thank you, Mike. The national anthem was sung by the Chagrin Falls High School Choir, directed by Nathan Bachowski. The flag was raised today by members of Girl Scout Cadet Troop 71359. These three wreaths in front of me represent the three organizations that are involved in our Memorial Day activities. Placing the wreath for the Veterans of Foreign Wars, Post 12067, was Larry Davison. For Chagrin Falls American Legion Post 383 was George Vorlogiannis. And for the Molly Chittenden chapter of the Daughters of the American Revolution, Mickey Beechler. This past Friday, members of the DAR placed a wreath on the grave of Revolutionary War veteran Josiah Rogers, who rests in Grove Hill Cemetery. I want to thank you to Jim Brocious for arranging the F-16 flyover. I'm sure you all heard it. Jim does that for us every year. The pilots this morning were Lieutenant Colonel Roy Grease Poor and Jonathan Moose Yeager Lightfoot. They're assigned to the 180th Fighter Wing out of Toledo. A special thank you to Captain James A. Reddick and Senior Master Sergeant Elizabeth Hollier, who work with Jim every year to arrange these flights. The American Legion tribute will be given by Major Shannon Stanich.
That's what we heard.
On behalf of Chagrin Falls American Legion Post 383, members of whom choreographed today's flyover, are emceeing today's event, conducted the cannon blast, are doing the rifle detail, as well as helped set out all the flags on the graves we see here today. Thank you to the community, as well as the town of Chagrin Falls, for giving today, Memorial Day, the fidelity that a day such as this deserves. On a day like today, where we pause and honor and remember those who gave everything to give us the freedoms we have as the United States of America, it is incumbent upon all of us to take the time and remember to be the best version of ourselves, our town, and our community, as well as the best version of the United States. So let us take today to remember and move forward, honoring those who gave everything by being the best version of ourselves that we can be. Thank you.
Thank you, Major Stanich. I want to thank the Mayor Tomkill, the Mayor of Chagrin Falls, for his support of these Memorial Day activities. Along with American Legion Post Commander Tom Gretschko, Council President Angie DiBernardo, members of the Cemetery Commission and Sexton Megan Murtaugh, we have been working on putting together today's ceremony for many months. The village has created a brochure, and I see that many of you have that can help you follow the program this morning. It includes a bio of many of our principal participants. Mayor Tomkill.
Thank you, John. Good morning to everyone, and thank you for coming and remembering the significance of Memorial Day. Today, we gather not to just end a long weekend or mark the official start of summer, temperature notwithstanding, but for something far deeper and more solemn, Memorial Day. Memorial Day is a time to pause our lives and to pay honor and remember those who made supreme sacrifices that it takes to secure and to protect for us the God-given rights to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. It is only through the efforts of those who have served, and yes, especially for those who have given the last full measure of their devotion, that we can enjoy the life we all have today. These individuals wore uniforms, knowing the risks, yet they stood firm in their commitment to defend our freedoms, our families, and our way of life. They did not seek glory or recognition. They sought to protect what mattered most. Here in our little village, Memorial Day has been observed from the first one over 150 years ago to today. Thank all of you for continuing this tradition. Here in Evergreen Cemetery, veterans rest from the Revolutionary War through today. At the main entrance are inscribed 17 names of residents who made the ultimate sacrifice, from Myron Greed in World War I to Michael Kakouche in Iraq. They join the many names on the Civil War memorial behind me. Now in closing, I would ask that from time to time, when passing through our beautiful cemetery, you take the time to read those names so that while the person has died in body, they may live yet again in our memory, gratitude, and thanks. We enjoy the time with loved ones today. Let us take a moment to reflect on the cost of liberty and carry forward their legacy, not just in words, but how we live our lives with gratitude, with purpose, and respect for the freedoms that they have preserved. And they have passed the torch of liberty to us, the living, to now carry and to preserve. Thank you for coming forward.
Thank you, Bill. Now Reverend Howard will give a pastor prayer.
Standing again among these sacred stones and hallowed names, will you join your hearts with mine as we offer them to the Lord in prayer? God of mercy and sacred memory, in this place of silence and stone, we remember today that freedom is never merely inherited. It must be tended, guarded, renewed, and carried forward with humility and care. We remember, O God, the dead, not as symbols, but as human lives, as sons and daughters, as friends and neighbors, as young people whose futures were interrupted by war, families marked forever by absence and grief. And standing among these graves, we confess, forgiving God, how easy it is for memory to become shallow, for ceremony to replace responsibility, for words like freedom and equality and sacrifice to become slogans rather than sacred obligations. Keep us from such forgetfulness. Let this ground teach us again. Let it teach us that peace is more difficult than violence, that justice requires courage, that freedom without responsibility is not freedom, but moral failure. Let it teach us that every generation inherits the unfinished work of those before us, of those we honor on this hallowed ground today. We remember, O God, today those who fought to preserve a nation and those who gave their lives for that holy truth that human bondage was and always will be a moral evil. We remember those who hoped for what Lincoln once called a new birth of freedom. And we confess with humility how unfinished that work remains. So grant us grace, not merely to honor the dead, but to become worthy of their memory. Oh God, make us a people who seek truth without hatred, who seek justice without cruelty, who seek conviction without contempt, and who seek peace without surrendering the dignity of any human life. And as this old song of grace rises among these stones, may your amazing grace rise also within us. The grace to remember, the grace to repent, the grace to listen, the grace to genuinely love our neighbors. Grant to us, O God, that same grace, that we may continue this unfinished work that you have entrusted to the living. Amen.
Commander, salute the dead. Amazing Grace was played again this year by Tim Reed, and the taps was played by Ethan Nelson and Patrick Rodriguez. I want to thank you to all those who were here on Saturday morning to place flags on the graves of those veterans who have Evergreen Hill as their final resting place. The placing of flags is coordinated each year by Chagrin Falls American Legion Post 383. This year we placed flags on the graves of 870 veterans that rest here in this cemetery. As you walk through the cemetery, please take note of the flag holders marking veterans' graves. Over the past year, an additional 220 flag holders were purchased by the village. The Wreaths Across America program's mission of giving back, along with donations from the Veterans of Foreign Wars Post 12067, American Legion Post 383, and individual donations from Ben Brigham, Lou Fowl, and Ralph Burr enabled the village to purchase these flag holders. We now have bronze flag holders on every one of the 870 graves. Thank you. Because of that, this morning, on Saturday morning, in that drizzly rain, and sometimes not so drizzly, over 40 people showed up to help place the flags on those graves. And it took us only 35 minutes. It was amazing. So thanks again to all those who were here. I want to give a special thank you to the JCs again. Through their many fundraising efforts, such as Blossom, the JCs have provided funds to purchase the new 20 by 30 foot flag that you saw in the parade yesterday. And all the flags you see down through the village and the bunting have all been purchased by the JCs through their fundraisers. So thank you to the JCs. I want to thank you again to the Eagles Area 2436 and to the village of Chagrin Falls for all their support. And I also want to thank Chief Amber Dasick for all the work that she and the police department do throughout this weekend to keep us safe. So when you see a policeman, thank them. Again this year we have Steve Savanu and his Buford T. Hedgehog Productions operating the sound system. The cannon that we use in these ceremonies was provided in memory of Sandy Barter and her family. And thank you to Dick Goldsmith, and Jack Desmond for operating the cannon. And then once again, we want to thank Jeff and Drone Ohio. This is being streamed live throughout the country on Jeff's Facebook page, and he gets 7,000, 8,000 people watch this program. So thank you, Jeff. Our Grand Marshal this year is the Schutz family. Representing the family here today are Jack and his wife Kathy, Steve, Susie and her daughter Megan, Jared and his wife Mo, Ken the Third, Tyler and Colleen. So big thank you to the Schutz family. You know, just keep clapping. They're awesome. You know, it would be really difficult to try and chronicle all of the ways that this family has impacted our community over the past 75 to 80 years. From Ken Sr., a 1938 graduate of Chagrin Falls, World War II tail gunner, baseball coach, the mother Jean, who was really the backbone of the family back in the 50s and the 60s. You know, she was forever entering all those sweepstakes they used to have. And I don't know if you remember, but they won a Rolls Royce one year in some sweepstakes. Jack and the windows that Jack would provide every year, honoring the family and honoring veterans in Chagrin Falls. Steve's steady leadership. Susie's ready smile and ability to keep Jack under control. Bob told me to say that, Susie, so, you know. Bob, a classmate of mine, has been the behind-the-scenes support for the family and the store, while Ken Jr. has been and is the central core of this family, for those of you who know Ken Jr. Ken's sensitivity, his intelligence, his sense of humor, and his perseverance are reflected in each one of his siblings. The Chagrin Valley and our community thanks the Schutz family. One of our Memorial Day traditions is the reading of Logan's orders and the recitation of the Gettysburg Address. Chagrin Falls 6th grade students compete for this honor. I want to thank 6th grade teacher Ellen McKelvey, who coordinated this year's competition. Logan's orders will be read by Patrick Quigg. Patrick is the son of Anna and Andrew Quigg.
General John A. Logan's Memorial Day Order. General Order Number 11. Headquarters, Grand Army of the Republic, Washington, D.C., May 5th, 1868. Number 1. The 30th day of May, 1868 is designated for the purpose of strewing with flowers or otherwise decorating the graves of comrades who died in defense of their country during the late rebellion and whose bodies now lie in almost every city, village, and hamlet churchyard in the land. In this observance, no formal ceremony is prescribed, but posts and comrades will in their own way arrange such fitting services and testimonies as respect as circumstances may permit. We are organized comrades, as our regulations tell us, for the purpose, among other things, of preserving and strengthening those kind and fraternal feelings which have bound together the soldiers, sailors, and Marines united to suppress the late rebellion. What can aid more to assure this result than cherishing tenderly the memory of our heroic dead who made their breasts a barricade between our country and its foe? Their soldier lives were the reveille of freedom to a race in chains, and their death a tattoo of rebellious tyranny in arms. We should guard their graves with sacred vigilance. All that consecrated wealth and taste of the nation can add to their adornment and security is but a fitting tribute to the memory of her slain defenders. Let no wanton foot tread rudely on such hallowed grounds. Let pleasant paths invite the coming and going of reverent visitors and found mourners. Let no vandalism of avarice or neglect, no ravages of time testify to the present or to the coming generations we have forgot the cost of a free and undivided republic. If other eyes grow dull and other hands slack, and other hearts cold in the solemn trust, ours shall keep it well as long as the light and warmth of life remain in us. Let us then, at the time appointed, gather around their sacred remains and garland the passionless mounds above them with the choicest flowers of springtime. Let us raise above them the dear old flag they have saved from dishonor. Let us in this solemn presence renew our pledges to aid and assist those who they left among us as sacred charges upon the nation's gratitude. The soldiers and sailors, widow and orphan. Number 2. It is the purpose of the Commander-in-Chief to inaugurate this observance with the hope that will be kept up from year to year while a survivor of the war remains to honor the memory of his departed comrades. He earnestly desires the public press to call attention to this order and then its friendly aid in bringing it to the notice of comrades in all parts of the country in time for simultaneously compliance therewith. Number 3. Department commanders will use every effort to make this order effective. By command of John A. Logan, Commander-in-Chief, N.P. Chipman, Adjutant General.
Thank you, Patrick. The volunteer singers from grades 4 through 8 will now sing Armed Forces, the Pride of America, under the direction of Pat Hainish and Kathy Ulrich. Veterans, please stand or wave acknowledgement when the anthem celebrating your branch of the service is sung. Thank you. You guys are awesome. Accompanying the choirs today is Marcia Snavely. Thank you, Marcia and Greg, for all that you do to support music in the village. The band today is under the direction of Stephen Hamhole, Rob Savnosky, and Alex Walker. The Chagrin Falls High School Band in the back there have been participating in these Memorial Day activities for over 100 years. Reciting the Gettysburg Address this year will be Archer Osborne. Archer is the son of Stephanie and Gareth Osborne.
Fourscore and 7 years ago, our fathers brought forth on this continent a new nation, conceived in liberty and dedicated to the proposition that all men are created equal. Now we are engaged in a great civil war, testing whether that nation or any nation so conceived and so dedicated can long endure. We are met on a great battlefield of that war. We have come to dedicate a portion of that field as a final resting place for those who here gave their lives that that nation might live. It is altogether fitting and proper that we should do this. But in a larger sense, we cannot dedicate, we cannot consecrate, we cannot hollow this ground. The brave men, living and dead, who struggled here have consecrated it far above our poor power to add or detract. The world will little note nor long remember what we say here, but it can never forget what they did here. It is for us, the living rather, to be dedicated here to the unfinished work which they who fought here have thus far so nobly advanced. It is rather for us to be here dedicated to the great task remaining before us, that from these honored dead we take increased devotion to that cause for which they gave the last full measure of devotion. That we here highly resolve that these dead shall not have died in vain, that this nation, under God, shall have a new birth of freedom, and that government of the people, by the people, for the people, shall not perish from the earth.
Thank you, Arthur. This is, I think, the first year that I'm aware of that we had 2 Boy Scouts participating. Our keynote speaker this year is Todd Lyle. In addition to what you see in the program regarding Todd's military service, I want to mention that a little over 10 years ago, Todd produced a documentary entitled One Mission, Chagrin Falls. He used the hardware store as his backdrop. He had veterans from World War II all the way through the Gulf War that were all interviewed. They're sitting down in the hardware. It's really a living snapshot demonstrating how in every conflict, local individuals step forward to serve their country. Todd Lyle.
Thank you, John. John is a textbook example of community service. He cares deeply, and he's always there for us in this community. I want to start off by listing 5 names of people who died in service in various operations of which I participated in over the years. Specialist Ann Terrell, Staff Sergeant Michael Utke, Chief Warrant Officer 3 Jerry Irwin, Chief Warrant Officer 4 Jerry Haney, and Captain Christopher Moss. Behind every operation, when we're actually boots on the ground, there's a great deal of build-up, training, sacrifice that goes unknown unless you happen to be on the post or fort or air base during that time. So those 5 died in service for our country, and I'll tell you, I'll take you on a little road trip, if you will, of some of the missions. First off was Korea. In 1953, the armistice was signed by the UN in North Korea. For those who don't know, that war continues to this day, and we have troops. They're no longer on the DMZ, but when I was serving up there, the 2nd Infantry Division was, as we would call it, a speed bump for North Korea. And the service and sacrifice of my colleagues of the various forces kept South Korea safe and warm and giving them peace of mind that they knew we had their back. In Haiti, we had a situation where a democratically elected president was ousted by a gentleman, I shouldn't say gentleman, by an individual, a ruffian by the name of General Cedras. And General Cedras was killing his citizens in mass. So during the Clinton administration, we responded, and that military mission became a humanitarian mission, and we reinstalled President Aristide and helped the nation have another democratic election. Another journey we were on was brought about by the Dayton Peace Accords, if you may recall. The war started in the Balkans in 1992, and over 250,000 civilians were massacred. And it wasn't until the Dayton Peace Accords that the world came together under the leadership of the United States of America, and we brought an end to that massacre. And we spent quite a bit of time there. In fact, we still have troops and boots on the ground, as we typically do. We seem to stay, we tend to linger after the mission in order to make sure that there's peace and stability and hopefully prosperity for the communities that we help rebuild. We are very fortunate in this country to have what we have. We look around, we take many things for granted, and that's not a critique, that's human nature. We become complacent. Again, it's part of the human element. But while we're here and in relative peace, many people stand guard around the world due to the leadership of the United States of America. So I would ask that not just today, but every day, that you take a moment to show a random act of kindness, to give someone a smile or a thank you or hold the door, to uphold the precepts of our social contract and abide by the rule of law. These are simple concepts. They keep us at peace, and they allow us to live in a country of tremendous prosperity. For we are the beacon on the hill. We are an amazing country, and we should be very proud. So with that, I wish you peace on this Memorial Day and peace every day. Thank you.
Thank you, Don. American Legion Post 383 Commander Gretschko has a token of appreciation for you.
I've known Todd for many years, but I didn't know that he was a lieutenant colonel. I just found that out recently. I thought you were a hotshot helicopter pilot, which is both. Well, the American Legion and the Village of Chagrin Falls want to present you with this Grateful Appreciation Medal presented to Lieutenant Colonel Todd D. Lyle, USA retired, in recognition of multiple successful overseas deployments in the service of the United States Army in Haiti, Korea, Cuba, and Bosnia. This is presented by Chagrin Falls Post 383, this 25th day of May, 2026. signed by Thomas Gretschko, Commander, and John W. Boroso, Judge Advocate. And there's a little notation on the bottom, our American Legion motto, and a famous quote from our first president, "For God and country." Thank you, Todd. Please do it for presentation today. Very good.
Now for the benediction, Reverend Howard.
And now, as we prepare to depart from this place of memory, may we go with humility for the sacrifices remembered here, with gratitude for those who came before us, and with renewed devotion to the work of peace, justice, truth, and neighbor love. May we walk gently upon this earth. May we care faithfully for one another. And may we remember that the measure of any people is not found in power alone, but in our compassion, in courage, and in the willingness to seek the good of others. So may the God who gathers the living and the dead into mercy grant us wisdom for the days ahead, strength for the burdens we carry, and hope enough to continue the unfinished work that the Lord of life has entrusted to the living. Amen.
Thank you, Reverend Howard. Our choirs will now lead us in the first verse of God Bless America. Please remain standing. 100 years ago, the procession to Evergreen Hill Cemetery on Memorial Day was preceded by a boat filled with flower petals. At the close of the ceremony, the children of the village would spread the petals over the graves of the veterans. With that image in mind, I ask you now to remember in your mind's eye a veteran that has passed that has been meaningful in your life. It is our tradition to fire 3 blasts of the cannon that represent duty, honor, and country. Color guard, dismiss the colors.
Mark time. Halt. Look. Hey. Group. Halt. Retrieve the colors. Three, then. Halt. Hold her. Halt. Retreat. Center. Hey. Hold word. Halt. Right. Hey. 4. Halt.
Thank you all for coming this morning. That concludes our ceremony. We will be reassembling in Toronto Park to raise the flag there. Thank you.
And there we have it, folks. Try to get some altitude here and show you how large the crowd was today. Quite the crowd. Look at that. The kids were awesome.
For 2 hours, I'm dying. Save me.
And we're going to sign off. I hope you guys have an enjoyable Memorial Day, the rest of the weekend, and the beginning of summer. Thanks for viewing, folks.